What makes an empire great? Is it power, culture, or the fear it leaves behind? Imagine an empire so vast it stretched across 3 continents, an empire of emperors and slaves, of gladiators and conquerors, of roads that carved through mountains and aqueducts that defied gravity. The Roman Empire was the greatest civilization in human history, and yet it collapsed into ashes. This is the epic story of Rome, its rise to unstoppable power, its golden age of glory, and its tragic downfall. The Roman Empire was not simply a nation, it was a phenomenon that defined the ancient world. For nearly 1,000 years, Rome shaped politics, culture, war, and religion across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. At its peak, it was home to over 70 million people, 1/5 of the entire world's population. To understand Rome is to understand the very roots of Western civilization, because even today, its echoes live in our laws, our architecture, and our languages. But Rome's story is also a warning that even the greatest powers can fall when corruption, greed, and division take hold. Rome began not as an empire, but as a legend. According to myth, twin brothers Romulus and Remus were abandoned on the banks of the Tiber River and raised by a she-wolf. Romulus killed his brother and founded the city that would bear his name, Rome. While we may never know the truth, Romans themselves believed in this destiny, that their city was born from struggle, violence, and survival. This belief fueled Rome's ambition for centuries. The early Romans built a republic, a government where citizens elected representatives. But this was no modern democracy. The Senate was dominated by the wealthy elite, while ordinary citizens often fought for basic rights. Still, the Republic created a system of checks and balances that allowed Rome to expand without collapsing under tyranny, at least for a time. Expansion was Rome's lifeblood. From the very beginning, Rome was surrounded by enemies. The city fought against Etruscans, Sabines, Samnites, and dozens of other tribes. Each victory brought more land, more slaves, and more resources. But Rome's greatest test came in the 3rd century BCE when it faced Carthage, a powerful North African city-state. The Punic Wars were some of the bloodiest conflicts of the ancient world. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, led his army and even elephants across the Alps into Italy. For over a decade, he terrorized the Roman countryside. But Rome refused to surrender. Finally, in 146 BCE, after 3 long wars, Rome destroyed Carthage completely, burning the city to the ground and ensuring its supremacy in the Mediterranean. With Carthage gone, Rome turned its eyes eastward. Greece, Egypt, and Asia Minor fell one after another. Roman generals returned home with unimaginable wealth, slaves, and treasures. But with wealth came corruption. Senators grew greedy, politics turned violent, and the balance of the Republic began to break. One man came to symbolize this change, Julius Caesar. A brilliant general and politician, Caesar conquered Gaul, modern-day France, bringing vast riches and loyal legions under his command. But the Senate feared his ambition. When they ordered him to give up his army, Caesar instead crossed the Rubicon River with his legions in 49 BCE, declaring war on the Senate itself. The Republic was shattered. After years of civil war, Caesar emerged victorious. But in 44 BCE, he was assassinated by senators who claimed they were saving the Republic. In reality, they had sealed its fate. Rome plunged into chaos again, but out of it rose Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian. He crushed his rivals, including Mark Antony and Cleopatra, and in 27 BCE declared himself Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. The Republic was dead. The empire had begun. Under Augustus, Rome entered its golden age. the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. For 2 centuries, Rome enjoyed relative stability. Its armies secured the borders, its roads and aqueducts transformed the landscape, and its culture spread across continents. The Colosseum rose as a monument to Rome's power, hosting brutal gladiatorial games that both entertained and controlled the masses. Roman engineers built aqueducts that carried fresh water into cities, while roads connected Rome to the farthest provinces. The empire was alive with trade, art, and innovation. But beneath this golden surface lay cracks that would eventually destroy Rome. The empire's wealth depended on conquest, but endless expansion was impossible. Once expansion slowed, Rome faced economic troubles. Heavy taxes crushed the poor while the elite grew richer. Political instability turned deadly. Emperors were assassinated, armies turned against their rulers, and corruption spread through every corner of government. Some emperors tried to restore glory. Trajan expanded Rome to its largest size, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia. Hadrian built massive defenses, including Hadrian's Wall in northern England. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, guided Rome with wisdom, but his death marked the beginning of decline. His son Commodus was reckless and cruel, more interested in games and luxury than ruling an empire. The throne of Rome became a prize for anyone with enough soldiers to seize it. Meanwhile, a new faith was spreading, Christianity. Once persecuted, it offered hope to slaves, the poor, and the oppressed. Over time, it grew unstoppable. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine embraced Christianity, transforming the empire's identity forever. Pagan temples were replaced with churches, and Rome itself became the heart of Christendom. But religion could not save the empire from its enemies. The Roman frontiers were under constant attack. Germanic tribes pressed against the Rhine and Danube. In the east, the Persians challenged Rome's might. Then came the Huns, fierce warriors from the steppes, pushing tribes into Roman lands. The empire struggled to defend itself. In 410 CE, disaster struck. The Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome. For the first time in 800 years, the Eternal City was captured. The world was shocked. If Rome could fall, no civilization was safe. Over the next decades, Rome staggered under repeated invasions, corruption, and economic collapse. Finally, in 476 CE, the last emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown. The Western Roman Empire was gone. But Rome's story did not end. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as Byzantium, survived for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman law, art, and culture. Even after its fall, Rome's legacy lived on. Modern governments are inspired by Roman law. Our architecture imitates Roman designs. Even our languages, Spanish, French, Italian, are descendants of Latin. Rome may have fallen, but its shadow still shapes our world. The Roman Empire is not just a chapter in history, it is a mirror of human ambition. It shows how power can build wonders, but also destroy itself from within. Its rise was fueled by discipline, vision, and unity. Its fall was caused by greed, corruption, and division. Perhaps the greatest lesson Rome gives us is that no empire, no matter how mighty, is eternal. This was the story of the Roman Empire, its rise, its glory, and its fall. And if you want to uncover more epic stories of history, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends, and stay with us as we reveal the greatest mysteries of the past. This is Quest Revealers.